would like to note that Eufy does not suggest half of the stuff that we've done today. But you know what? This is research. We have a fail. This is falling out. What in the world? So I recently made a post on my channel asking you that if you were to try hot foiling with the EufyMake UV printer, what projects would you want to use? And y'all just showed up. I am actually very impressed with how many ideas that you had. Today we're gonna try all of them, or the next couple days we're gonna try all of them. I'm gonna go over what I'm going to try, and then I'm gonna explain to you why I think this is going to take me a few days to get finished. So the first thing that is on the list, which is apparently everyone wants to try, is just a bunch of different leather. So I have some regular natural leather. This right here is laser engravable and cuttable, but I am just going to peel off this masking tape and put the flexible white ink on top of this. I also have a leather journal, which conveniently I've already done some hot foiling with my X-Tool M1. So I am going to do another little thing right here, and we'll be able to compare the difference between the two. Leather bookmark was another one. Again, a lot of leather. There was a lot of leather comments. Okay, then we had some acrylic, like can you hot foil on the acrylic? So I have some clear acrylic and black acrylic, still have the masking tape on there. We will get over why it's still there and what we need to do to prep this item. We have a canvas makeup bag. Then we also have a canvas piece of art, or what is this, a canvas panel? Canvas, anyways. Someone wanted to know if you can hot foil on the canvas, so we're gonna try that. A ceramic coaster. Now this right here has a little imperfection in it, so I'm just gonna use it for testing. We're gonna see if it actually works or not. Then we have wood. Can you hot foil on wood, or use the flexible white ink and then hot foil on wood? So I have a thick piece of wood here for us. The next two things are things actually, to be honest with you, most of what we have here, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work, but these last two items, I am pretty positive that they're not going to work. But we are going to try and do the 3D texture with the flexible white ink on a tumbler and then try and hot foil it. I don't think it's gonna work, but we shall see. If it ends up looking really good, my idea is that this would be a really good bridesmaid gift or a bride gift. I am going to hot foil, if it works. We have a gold bottom right here. I'm gonna hot foil gold on top. And then the last one is, can we make a sticker, UV DTF sticker, 3D texture, and then hot foil? I don't know. So we're gonna find out together. Now, the reason why this particular project I surmise is going to take us a few days to get accomplished is because in order to do the hot foiling with the EufyMake UV printer, you have to print like 0.33 millimeters of texture in order for the hot foiling to actually work. If you do any type of texture printing, 3D texture printing with the EufyMake UV printer, it's just like an actual 3D printer. Now, I don't have a 3D printer here, but I do know what everyone else tells me about 3D printing is that 3D printing takes a really long time to do. In the EufyMake UV printer, the technology is essentially the same with the 3D printer technology, only with the UV printer, you're using resin to build layers instead of like filament to build layers, okay? So with the 3D printing technology with the EufyMake, you have to like actually do layers and build the layers and build the layers until you get thick enough to where you actually can do some 3D texture, okay? That takes time. It's not quick, my friends. This is why, if you've watched any of the past EufyMake videos that I do for the UV printer, is that I don't do a whole lot of 3D printing because it takes a long time to 3D print. The end results always look phenomenal, but I just don't have the patience for that. So I am gonna have patience for you though, because this is a common question. All of these things that I keep seeing, everyone keeps posting about, I wanna answer them for you. So we are going to try all the things and see what works and what doesn't. I don't know what is gonna work and what is not going to work. I actually don't even know if any of this stuff is going to work. So we're gonna find out. Also, what I'm gonna try at the end of this is that laminator with the foiling sheets, because if you remember right, the previous video that I had posted about the hot foiling, I didn't actually use that laminator. We're gonna test it out today. and then yeah, see how everything else works. Okay, so my printer right now is printing a sheet of stickers. I am printing a sheet of stickers for my cardstock warehouse because those is what I've been giving out as freebies with other orders. I had to do a full sheet because we were running low on stickers. When I make the switch over to flexible white ink, you kind of have to commit to that, okay? The reason why is when, I'm going to show you, right now we have the original white ink that comes with your UV printer. In order to switch over to the flexible white ink, you have to purge your lines, and that does a little bit of wasting. Like you waste a little bit of ink when you purge the lines. I didn't want to have to switch over to flexible and then switch back over to the regular to print some stickers to then switch back over to the flexible to finish this large project that we have going on here. So essentially what I did was finished up everything that I knew I needed to print with the regular white ink, so I can just only do the flexible, and then when I'm done I can switch it back and we'll be all right. So just eliminates like the amount of waste for the ink. I think the waste for the ink is maybe like 5 milliliters. Don't quote me on that. But there is a little bit of wasting that you do because you have to purge lines. So there's all these lines that go into your printer and they have to get purged in order for the white ink to like come on in and then start printing onto your stuff, okay? So while we wait for that printer to get done printing, the cool thing is that you can actually just like start doing other things with the software. So let's go over to the software and I'm going to show you how we are going to print stuff. They're all going to be different, like all the images are going to be different, but the framework, how you set things up and all that is all the same. So let's head over to the computer where I show you how to do the setup process. All right, so I have 82% left on this project, but that means truly nothing to you. We're just gonna open up a new canvas in the EufyMake Studio. Ooh, the one thing that I would like to mention here is that when we are doing hot foiling, everything that you're going to want to print, you're only going to want to print white. So the CMYK color with the Eufy UV printer will not work with the hot foiling. It only works with the white, okay? So what we wanna do, let's just, we'll start with a coaster. I'm gonna go to my favorite spot, which is Creative Fabrica, because I know for a fact that it's going to be easier to find things over there that exactly what I want. All right, so this right here, I am going to download. I think that's really cute, and it's going to show really well on the coaster, if it works. Okay, so going back over into the EufyMake software, I'm just gonna find my digital download that I just downloaded, and I'm gonna find one that I actually want to use. So let's just do the reader. Oop, you know what? I'm gonna do this on a coaster, and although it's cracked, let's just keep with it. Keep it brewing. The Coffee Addict coaster, you generally use coffee, so let's just drag that in there. And we're gonna do one project at a time for this, okay? We're gonna come over, let's just do this as a flat raised thing. And we are gonna come over here to color raised, and we are gonna do white for foil stamping. Okay, you're gonna need 0.33 milliliter or 0.33 millimeters, so you wanna do that. Now, the one thing that I can tell you is they have a gold option and a silver option. In the original video that I had posted, I'm like, I don't know why there is an option for that. And then someone commented like, oh, the reason why is so they can show you what it's gonna look like as gold and what it's gonna look like as silver. And this is why I have you, because that made sense. So just going down over into the preview button, if we zoom in, this is what our thing is going to look like if I print it in the silver. I'm hoping it looks a little bit more crisp than this because it doesn't look very crisp. I don't know. Okay, that's what it's gonna look like with the silver. Let's go back over here with a gold, and then we're gonna go into preview, and this is what it's gonna look like with a gold. It does not look very crisp at all. You know what, we're just gonna keep it, because really what we're trying to figure out is can you foil on a coaster? You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna do anything more to that. Now, obviously I'm gonna resize this because what we have here is a lot bigger than what we have here. but I need that sticker sheet to get done printing so then we can continue doing what we want to do. You know what I mean? Where are we at? We are at 92%. So it's like, we're almost finished. Also, essentially, that's it. Like, the setup process is done. You just make sure and click on your thing. You do flat raised. 0.33 millimeters is what you need to go. You can do it thicker, but if you go thicker, it will take you longer. I'm not looking to make things longer. And then if you wanted to, you could just press preview just to see just like what we did. Now, the one thing that we are gonna have to do for after my sticker paper is done printing is that we are gonna have to replace the flexible white ink or the original white ink with the flexible white ink. And then again, we're gonna have to purge and all that stuff. I'll show you that here in a second when this is done. But yeah, essentially that's the setup process. And it's going to be the setup process for everything. Nothing is going to be different with how you set up any of this, okay? So I'm excited to see if all of this works. All right, my stickers are all done. So what I'm gonna do now is go back over to the canvas and we are gonna replace the original white ink with the flexible white ink. Now, essentially what you have to do is just follow the on-screen instructions. All right, so what we have to do is we have to take out the original white ink, which is this right here. Set this on its side, and then what you want to do is replace it with the flexible ink. You will be able to tell because the box says flexible on there, but then also on the ink cartridge itself, it says flexible right here, but then also right here. So just to give you a little difference between the two, one says flexible, one does not. One says flexible, one does not. So we're just gonna give this a couple shakes, put this into the white reservoir, pressing down. Now over at the computer, all you wanna do is just press installed. What it's going to do is a purge. It is going to take all of the ink that's existing into the machine. There's like all these like little tubey things. It's going to purge it all out and put it into the cleaning cartridge. While we wait for the printer to get done doing its purging, what I am going to do right now is prep my small mini flatbed with just a plain sheet of white printer paper. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to just print a couple small little things on here to make sure that the white ink is completely, the original white ink is completely purged out of my printer. The reason why I'm doing this is because in my original video, when I showed you how to take out the original white ink to put in the flexible white ink, I tried to do some hot foiling and I didn't have any success because the ink wasn't fully purged out of the line. So I was still printing technically normal hard ink. So I'm just gonna do a couple test prints on this, just flat white test prints on this, just to make sure that we have it all purged out. So I'm just gonna lock that into place. Let's head over to the computer where I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do for the tests. All right, so we are about 40% done with the cleaning. I'm just gonna go into one of these tabs and close it. Actually, I'm gonna close both of them because we don't need it. And then I'm going to open up a new one. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here into elements and do a shape. And I'm just going to do a square. And I'm gonna turn this over to white. And I'm going to fill up my page. Then I'm gonna come over here into ink mode and I'm only going to do white. Now, when the purging finished, this is the new notification that I got. This actually has never happened before with the original one. So I'm just gonna press start testing. I already have something installed into my printer, so thank goodness for that. I'm gonna do the mini flatbed. We're just gonna press continue and it's gonna calibrate. I'm gonna have to put in another sheet of paper, I think, because it's going to print a calibration sheet. No, goodness gracious. We have some broken up lines here, but you know what? I think that's going to be okay. I'm gonna flip this over real quick. And instead of doing another calibration sheet that they wanna do, I'm just gonna say, did you get good print results? Yes. Okay, great. I'm gonna go over here. This is the thing that I've created that I use in order to make any type of test prints. So I am just going to put this on my screen and I'm gonna figure out if like it truly is. Sometimes with that test sheet, I don't think like the calibration sheet that they give me, I don't think it actually is that accurate. This right here gives me the most accuracy. All right, so we are gonna do wood standard. Let's select this. We're gonna do white and CMYK, and let's just print this just to see what the actual prints look like. All right, this is gonna take a total of 2.66 milliliters, which is fine by me because I would much rather have a crappy test print than an actual crappy real print on a real blank. Okay, so we're gonna let this do its thing, and I'll be back when this is done doing its print. This is actually really hilarious. You can't see it right now, but I'm gonna show you. Look, I printed on my actual mat instead of the paper because my paper wasn't large enough. Whoops. But this just goes to show you that that test print that they gave us, like all the colors are perfectly fine. Everything's good. And now that we have that, I can honestly tell that this right here is flexible. There is a definite difference between this one. This right here is original white ink and it's more rigid than this one right here. This is like I'm not going to do that one little square because this one right here definitely is very different than this one. You can tell that the colors aren't as vibrant over on this side, the flexible white ink side versus this. That's going to be normal because the white is not as pigmented. It's very thin. So I think it looks great. We're just gonna move on to the first project. The first project for us was going to be that coaster, wherever I put that coaster. So what we're gonna do is with this coaster, we're gonna put this onto the mat. I'm gonna put it towards the center and I'm gonna press it down on there, just like that. Going over into the EufyMake Studio software, we are gonna make sure that we are selected on the mini flatbed, and then we are gonna press Snapshot. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to resize this to a smaller size to fit onto our coaster that we have. So I'm just going to make this smaller. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the center, try and put this in the center of my coaster. That looks to be pretty center, yeah? Okay, so we're gonna go over here into material and we are gonna choose ceramic since this is a ceramic. Please use flexible white ink for foil stamping. That's what we're doing. And you can tell that we are in the flexible white ink because if we go over here to our system, this right here says flexible. Okay, we're gonna go back over, exit out of that. We'll go back over to here. We're gonna do high quality just to make sure we have this. That is set to the flat raised with the 0.33. All right, now what we're going to do is we are gonna press print on our screen and we have a total of 0.30 milliliters of ink being used here. That's actually not a lot of ink at all. So we're gonna press the happy button at the top of the machine and we're gonna let this do its prints. This thing took a total of 15 minutes. That's actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. So this is what the finished product is going to look like. It's white. You can't really see much to it. Now I am going to do all the printing first and then we're going to do all the foiling at the very last. So this is project 1 completed. Now at this point in time, I'm sure you actually understand how the software works for the EufyMake Studio. It's as simple as drag and drop, click a couple things in the software to make it do whatever it is that you need to do, and then just press print. Pressing the happy button, and then you have your finished print. So that's all the easy stuff. That's the stuff that we actually know how to do, okay? Well, I have realized that since the last time I've done a 3D print, they have actually, Eufy, that's the they've actually increased the time it takes to do a 3D print. I'm gonna try and do a little bit of more 3D prints at this point. I'm not gonna bore you anymore with like how to use the software and all that stuff because again, we already know how to do that. So once I get done printing all of the stuff that I said I was going to print, then we'll get to the actual scientific experiment here and see if they actually hot foil anything. So hopefully this doesn't take me multiple days. I'm hoping I can get it done all today. We shall see. What do you think? Do you think that I'm gonna get it done all in one day, or am I gonna have to be like here for 4 days doing textured prints? You let me know. Now, it actually didn't take me as long as what I thought it was going to get all of this printed, which that's amazing. Apparently, since the last time I did any type of texture prints or 3D prints with the EufyMake UV printer, they've actually updated the software to make things go a lot faster. And I was smart this time. I'm not generally this smart, but I did make a list of what, how much ink things took and then also how much time. So in total, it took about 5 hours to do all of these prints that are right here. And let's go over it. So the first thing that I printed was this coaster. I'm going to show you what the prints look like in their naked form before we actually do any type of foiling. So this is what the coaster looks like in its naked form. I think the quality of this print is actually really, really good. I mean, this is some good quality prints right here. This took a total of 0.3 milliliters of ink. Not a whole lot, like less than a half a milliliter. The second thing that I printed was this bookmark right here. And I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I did have to take this off because otherwise it would have created a bad quality print, but not that bad. It's actually not that bad. Okay, so then the next thing, oh, and that took 0.05 milliliters of ink and 8 minutes. This took 8 minutes, 0.05. Oh, this coaster took 15 minutes right here. Okay, so the makeup bag, I think the makeup bag is actually my most favorite print out of all of these because it looks so stinking cool. We haven't even foiled it. So this right here is a polyester canvas makeup bag. Maybe hard to see, but it's right here. I think just the way that it sits right now, just that little bit of extra, I would consider this to be like a tone on tone. I actually love the tone on tone. We're gonna see if it actually does the gold foiling or silver foiling. This took a total of 0.26 milliliters and it took 13 minutes to do this. This is my favorite. I have to tell you, this is my favorite. Okay, then we went to a leather patch. It's not really a patch, it's more of this natural leather. It's this right here, the thin natural leather. It's laser engravable and cuttable, but I just used it obviously to print. And this right here took a total of 0.41 milliliters and 12 minutes. You can see that looks really, really good. Now there is a difference. I have noticed a difference when we are printing with the flexible white versus the standard white. The standard white is like not tacky at all. But the flexible white does have a little bit of tack to it. It feels a little different. Okay, so the next thing I did was these two pieces of acrylic right here because I just wanted to see what it would look like for both. So I printed them both at the same time. It was 0.56 milliliters for both of these and it took 21 minutes to do both. I did them both at the same time. We have one in the black. I know that it's not center. I was more worried about things just getting printed versus actually trying to have good finished products in the end. Because really what we're here today is to see whether or not the foiling works on these different types of substrates. Then what I did was, sticker paper. So then I'm gonna move on to the sticker paper. I did it twice because I have an inkling that we're gonna have to do two things to it, two different things to it. So I have this sticker right here. There's two of them. This entire thing took 2.41 milliliters and it took 23 minutes to print. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them in half and I'm gonna do two different things to them. So just to see if it worked. I honestly still don't think this is going to work, but we shall see, okay? Then the next thing I went to is I went up into the leather journal. That's the one I did. This right here, I hot foiled with my X-Tool M1 Ultra. And then this right here is what I UV printed with the EufyMake UV Printer. So we are gonna hot foil that and then you'll be able to get good side-by-side difference of what it looks like. This right here was 0.8 milliliters and took a total of 23 minutes to do. And then what I did was I moved over into the canvas. The canvas was my next one. This right here, again, we're more worried about the actual finished product and whether or not it takes the gold foil or not. So this right here is not centered, I know, but you can see that there is some white paint on there, or white paint, it's resin, white resin. This took a total of 3.54 milliliters and took a total of 56 minutes. Now the reason why the increase in time, like you hear like the time increase, the larger we go, and it's because the larger the project, the longer it's going to take, okay? So this right here was 56 minutes. Now this right here is a piece of wood. I can tell you the quality of the print is not that amazing, and I don't think it's the actual print itself that messed up here. I think it was the PNG file that I used, because you can see that there is quite a bit of pixelation. the printer doesn't do the pixelation. It's the image that you're using that you make too big that does the pixelation. So I'm not a fan of the final print, but again, that's not the printer's fault. This right here is, let's see, is a 12-inch by 8-inch piece of wood. You can see that we just have some white frame on there. It looks good, but only it just has that like pixelation, which is whatever. It took a total of 4 milliliters of ink of white resin and took a total of 1 hour and 41 minutes. Yeah, not lying. It's right here, 1 hour, 41 minutes. Okay, and then the last and final thing, and I have to tell you, I'm kind of bummed because I had a really bad print on it. I tried to scrape it off, and then clearly you can see that it didn't scrape all the way off. I'm gonna try doing some rubbing alcohol and see if I can get it like fixed. It only printed my name, ASH, and not my entire name. Like it got cut off, and I thought that was really weird. So, but this one right here was a file that I had imported from Canva over into the EufyMake software. And then this one right here, I just did my name again from a font that was already in the EufyMake studio, and I got a good print. I'm hoping that I can get this off because this actually turned out really cute. Look at how cute that is. And then there's like texture. You can see that. So even if it doesn't actually texture well or foil well, I think it looks really good. So in total, it took roughly 5 hours, and I only used less than 14 milliliters. So if we remember correctly, it's about 43 cents per milliliter, and we used just under 14 milliliters for everything that I've printed here. So I took a total of $6.02 to do all of this printing right here. I feel like this is actually not that bad. All right, so now let's get into, does it actually foil? Because I still don't know. I have pulled up my EufyMake Laminator because, you know, the last time I did one of these foiling videos, I didn't actually use the EufyMake Laminator. I had said that it didn't work, but then I was corrected by EufyMake saying it does work. I have to tell you, I have tried it since then, not even filming the content, and I still can't get it to work. So we're going to try it together, and I'm hoping, praying, fingers crossed. If not, crusty dusty Laminator's coming out of the cabinet over there, and she's going to do some work if it don't work. Also, I have an inkling that I'm probably going to want to just use my little heat press, because that last video that I did with the foiling, I had most success using my little baby heat press with all of the foils that I did over there. But before we switch out the lamination sheet to the foiling sheet, this is the huge foiling rolls that came with the foil stuff that Eufy sent. It has 2 different colors of gold and then also a silver. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, this is where I'm going to do the sticker differently twice. The first sticker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through the laminator. And this is like extremely hard to cut in half. Holy cannoli. I'm going to put, before we do anything more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the laminator first to get that clear film on it. The next one, what I'm going to do is I am going to foil first and then put it through the clear thing. I really truly don't think that any of this is going to work at all, but we shall see. So what you want to do is make sure that we're heating up. So this right here is going to be almost in the hot position. All right, now that this is heated up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one into my laminator. Nothing else is going into my laminator right now because we only have that clear plastic film in there. All right, so now I'm going to cut out the plastic. Okay, we're going to set this one off to the side with the other sticker. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our laminator off, open up the lid, and then open up these little things that are right here. And we're going to take this roll out. So moving this thing right here comes right out. There's going to be this like flip thing that's over here. You won't be able to see it really, but it's down here. You just want to flip it down. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. And then what you want to do is just hold tight and pull. There it goes. All right. All right. Then what we're going to do is we are just going to take these little things out of the roll. And we're gonna move this off to the side. Okay, let's start with, you know what, I prefer gold over silver, so I'm just going to do gold for everything because it all works the same, I feel. And I actually prefer this gold versus the other one that they have here. The other one that they have here is like a yellow gold, and this one's like a really pretty like antique-ish gold. So I'm gonna do that. And this is kind of where things get a little dicey because I can't seem to figure out how to get this to run appropriately. So we are going to put this in like this. We're gonna put this in here. Okay, it's gonna slide into the channels. Then we're gonna lay it into here. All right, oh, nope. First, what you wanna do is you want to lift that up and also put this in, just like that. Then we're gonna lay this in here and shut these. We're gonna shut this, and now let's turn it on. And then you wanna put this thing in. And it's supposed to suck it in. All right, when it stops, then what you wanna do is press heating. We have all this excess that's right here. So let's just take that blade and take it off. This right here we can use, we're gonna be able to use it with the thicker materials. Let's try Book Nerd first, okay? We're gonna put this and see if it even goes through. I think it's too thick. Oh no, it's fine. I just had to press the play button and then it went. Don't quote me on how to use this laminator appropriately because again, this is the first time it's actually taking anything through. Every other time I've had to use my little mini heat press to actually do anything. But you know, the one thing that I don't like about using the heat press, even if this does end up working, is the fact that we have a ton of wasted foil sheets. Bro, why do you just keep on going? It just keeps on keeping on. It won't stop. Do I have to tell it to stop? Okay, so I think I put this in there and then when it pretty much was gone through, it stopped. I don't know. Maybe they'll have more information about it when everything comes out. Okay, so we have a lot of excess here. Thank goodness we have a lot of bigger items. Like obviously this piece of wood is not going into the laminator, the journal, the canvas, they ain't going in the laminator, the tumbler isn't either. So we'll just use the excess for that. Okay, this is what the bookmark looks like going through. It's actually really cute. It's actually really cute. Look at that. Does it do leather? It sure does. Now I wonder, we have all this excess. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna put this in here. This is just natural leather, nice and big. I'm gonna put it on top of here, just like this, because it seemed to want to stop when it went here. Nope, it didn't stop. Okay, maybe you gotta press the stop button. You gotta press play and press stop. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, here is the just regular, it was this right here, the thin natural leather that's also laser engravable and cuttable. And this is what it looks like. Oh, so cute. Look at that. Seems like I got a couple air pockets, like some pockets that didn't grab that. Maybe that's because the resin like sunk in a little bit, but that looks really good. Look at this. I figured out how to use this.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
But you got so much waste.
I'm glad you got it to work.
Thanks.
What,
I didn't do anything different. I just did a hope and a prayer.
Sometimes that's all you need.
That's all you need. Sometimes you just need a hope and a prayer.
Restart.
Yep. You just got to come back another day and things will work.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Does acrylic fit in here? I don't know. Put it in here. FYI, acrylic does fit in here. You got to press the play button. Bro, I probably just broke my laminator. Eufy's going to be like, what are you doing? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. This is falling out. What in the world? Look at how gorgeous this is. Look at that. This is what it's gonna look like on the back. So this is clear acrylic. It's gonna be white on the back. This is so good. Oh my gosh. I think we can just stop here. Do we have to do anything more? Wow. Okay. I'm not going to try to put my coaster in here because my coaster is thicker than my acrylic, and it kind of had a little tough time trying to suck that acrylic in, so we ain't gonna do that. I'm also not going to do the pouch because the pouch has a zipper and the zipper is kind of thick. However, now let's move on to this sticker. Okay, this sticker is the one that does not have the film on it. I'm gonna put this in here and press play. We're gonna let that do its thing. I just don't think that this is going to work. But you know what? I got success on the acrylic, and I have never seen anything like this in acrylic. Done. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. All right, so we're gonna slide this out of the way and turn it off because I'm essentially done with this. Because everything else, I'm gonna use the leftovers with my heat press. Okay, we're going to peel this. Yeah, see, look. Like, it didn't work. We have a fail. This is definitely a fail. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. You know why? Because the acrylic, freaking showstopper. Absolutely showstopper. Oh my gosh. Okay, now that we've covered that, we are going to move on to the everything else that's going to require a heat press. They do say, when I say they, I say Eufy. Eufy says that you can use a larger heat press. I'm not going to use my large heat press. Oh, and then they say only to do it on the light setting. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna warm this up. Okay, I'm gonna move some of this off. Let's work on something small first, and we'll just like work our way up to things that are larger. Know what I mean? I still can't get over how beautiful this is. Can you imagine making a bunch of different personalized ornaments? This looks professionally done for someone who was just messing around. It looks so good. Okay, we're gonna use a bunch of this leftover stuff. I have like random leftover pieces that still work. So the one graded thing that I had for success the last time was I just heated it up a little bit with my heat press, just like this. This is what I learned from my last video. I was like, okay, we're gonna heat up the ink just a little bit. And then we're going to lay the foil down, and then we're going to heat the foil up. And you know what the great part is I did realize is that even if you don't get a good transfer the first time, you can go back, like you can lay more down. I think that's good. We're gonna peel this off. Like, can we not be obsessed with this? Wow, this is amazing. Look at that. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. The small, fine little details. Chef's kiss. Okay, let's move on to this one. This one I'm most excited about. Okay, so I'm going to just heat up the ink. This is on the lightest setting. I only am using like one small little heat press, and I'm just heating it up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna take my foil, and I'm gonna lay it down, and then I'm gonna heat it again. And I'm just doing small light presses. Nothing major. This is why, like, I think you could use your heat press. EufyMake says if you have a bigger heat press, you can use the bigger heat press, but like, I don't need the bigger heat press because I think the little one's just doing just fine. Okay, let's peel this off. Oh, we don't have much going on, so I'm gonna heat this up a little bit longer. All right. It's not. I'm gonna get another piece. Maybe it needs more heat, like longer heat. I don't know. I don't know why this wouldn't work because everything else seemed to have worked. I'm gonna turn this up to a higher setting. Maybe it needs more heat. While we wait for that, let's try this. Let's try the leather. Let's try the leather journal and see if that works. Nope. Look. I don't think it worked. We have some of the ink came off. It's like it wants to. Maybe this is on too high. Now maybe this is too high, too hot. I feel like this wants to do it, but it's just not doing it. So I would say that this is not a total fail, but it's a fail. It's a fail. At the end of the day, it's a fail. The lettering down here seemed to do just fine, but everything else, like you see how like things got lifted up, like it got lifted up. And then we have some bubbling. I think the bubbling is because I turned this on to a high temp. They did tell me you're only supposed to do a low temp, so too high of temperature. I would say that this is a fail. Fail. Didn't work. Which is actually kind of weird because like this worked, but this didn't work. I don't know. Make that make sense. I don't know. I'm gonna work on this again. I would say that this isn't gonna work. Why? I have no idea. Couldn't tell you because we don't have anything going on here. Okay, going over into the canvas. I'm just heating everything up just like what we have been doing. And this is the one that I think is gonna be the hardest, only if it does actually work, because it bows in the center. I don't know. Okay, do you think that this is going to work? This right here is canvas. This right here is canvas. So if this works, but that doesn't work, this doesn't even make any sense to me. Ooh. Okay, so not terrible, not perfect. It's not perfect, but we have all this excess. What I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna use some more and I'm gonna press it again. Then this way, and press it inside, making sure we get the inside, because the inside, it gives it, like there's not a lot of pressure, right? It turned out better. I would say it does work, but like this is not, I'm done. I'm done messing with it. It works, I guess. The reason why I'm having such problems is like it gives. There's not a lot of, it's not stiff, but like it will work if you want to fumble around with it too much. I think it actually kind of matches the vibe of like what we have here. It's a vintage sign and it says vintage, but I'm done fumbling with that one. So there's that. Now let's go on to the wood one. I also am still pretty miffed about why it worked on the canvas, but didn't work on, or the canvas art, but it didn't work on the canvas bag, because they're both canvas. Make that make sense. And I know I had said before, I had really bad issues with the foil before, and that was because my ink didn't clear out all the way. But like when I did the canvas tote, this was after it, I did the canvas tote after this, after this, after this, and after this, right? All of these worked. That means that for sure I did not have any type of old white ink in there. So I shouldn't have that problem. So I'm just very confused on that. Okay, this right here is the wood. I feel like it's going to work. Ooh, look. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine this on a darker piece of wood? I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it works on wood just fine. All right, so we got two more, and it's the two more that I just don't think is going to work. We're gonna move on to this one right here. Now, with these stickers, Eufy says like you can't use the soft white ink with the stickers because it just won't work. I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't used them, but okay, so here is the sticker. So how we prep this, how we do the stickers is you peel off the white. I'm gonna put it right here directly in the middle of my frame. I don't really care what it looks like. Okay, so we're gonna put it on the wood and peel off this clear film. Okay, and this is why. This is why the soft white or the flexible white won't work with a sticker, is because when I lay that sticker down and I'm trying to peel up the clear, the sticker is wanting to peel back with it because it's so flexible. I'm having such a time, I mean, it's not even, yeah, we're not. Let's just say maybe you got a good sticker to go down wherever. Let's try and put some heat on it and see if that works. Oh yeah, okay. So then if you were to get a good press, like if you were to get a good sticker to go down onto whatever it is that you're trying to go down, you could put the foil on top of it. You could, but like this I would say is a no-go. Like we ain't doing it. So fail. But that wood one, the possibilities are endless with the wood too. Last and final one, I'm most excited about this one because if this does work, I'm gonna be so excited about it, is going to be the tumbler. I'm gonna take off my silicone lip ring and same thing as before, I'm just going to make this warm, okay? And then I'm gonna lay this down. I would like to note that Eufy does not suggest half of the stuff that we've done today. But you know what? This is research, people. We got to know. Does it work? Does it not work? I don't know. I feel like I can honestly tell when things work because like, do you see how it's like the ink almost like grabs it and it's all, I don't know. Okay, ready? You're gonna see it before me. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And the cool thing is like you can feel it. You can feel it when you're touching it. Like you can feel my name on there and none of the gold is coming off my hands. Oh, this is my, I'm so glad I put my name on this because this is going to be my drink holder. Oh my gosh. All right, so out of everything that we've done together, what is the thing that has blown you away more? Could you name one? I feel like originally I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I was like, but look at this and look at how small those little things are. Then I got to this and I think this one's my favorite. You let me know. I'm blown away. Thanks for all those ideas, y'all. Without you, I would probably just be printing Legos because I'm still obsessed with the Lego printing craft, but I am so excited that I actually did this and was brave enough and figured out that just a hope and a prayer does make your Eufy Laminator work for you when you need it to work on different materials. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you on the next one.